The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
An Atascosa County woman accused of killing her son in 2013, now out of state custody.
Erica Hernandez explains how Tashana Caldwell was able to get out of jail and what the Atascosa County District Attorney is now saying about this case.
It was a horrific case from almost 10 years ago. 23-month-old Caden Parker stabbed to death, and the person accused of the crime, his mother. Tashana Caldwell, according to Atascosa County Sheriff's Office at the time, say that she allegedly used a kitchen knife and attacked her son. She was arrested and charged with capital murder at the time. 3 years after her arrest, she went to trial in 2016, but was found not guilty by reason of insanity and sent to a state facility. Parker's grandmother reached out to KSAT 12 when they came across Caldwell on social media and then found out she had been released. We reached out to Atascosa County District Attorney Audrey Gossett Lewis, and she says a psychologist, psychiatrist, and 2 licensed professional counselors determined Caldwell was now functional and no longer a threat to the public. In late January, a contested release hearing took place, and Caldwell was then released to an outpatient facility. Gossett Lewis says they had been in touch with Parker's grandmother about the case and have even filed a motion for a protective order to keep Caldwell away from the victim's family. Because of the court's sealing of the case, a lot of information and details are unavailable. Caldwell cannot stand trial again for this crime because of the double jeopardy clause, which prohibits anyone from being prosecuted twice for the same crime. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
The father of missing little girl Lena Keel took a polygraph test today at the San Antonio FBI office. The girl hasn't been seen since December 2021, nearly 16 months ago. Our Jonathan Cotto was at the local FBI office today as Lena's father walked out. He spent hours there today. Jonathan spoke to him briefly as he left.
Is the polygraph test completed?
Yes.
All done?
Okay.
Sir, did your wife take the test as well? Or just...
My wife?
Yes.
No.
Lena Keel was 3 years old when she was reported missing in December of 21. She was last seen on the playground at the Villas del Cabo apartment complex on Fredericksburg Road. Anyone with any information on Lena's case is asked to contact the SAPD Missing Persons Unit. That number is 210-207-7660, or you can call Crime Stoppers. That number is 210-224-STOP. The reward for information that leads to Lena is up to $150,000.
That case such a mystery. A man now in custody on multiple felonies after a shooting earlier this month. Jail records show 31-year-old Tyler Neal arrested on 5 felonies. They include aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, felon in possession of a firearm, and drug possession. The arrest affidavit states Neal was with a female friend in a vehicle outside of her house. The woman's ex-boyfriend upset the two were together and allegedly broke the car's mirror. Neal allegedly then drove down the street, let the woman out of the vehicle, and shot at the ex-boyfriend. Neal being held in the Bexar County Jail, his bond set at $90,000.
Tonight, San Antonio police have arrested a man in connection to a murder from February on the southeast side. According to SAPD, Roy Flores Jr. is accused of killing Joe Bonilla. That shooting happened around 11 p.m. on February 21st outside of a Walmart on Southeast Military Drive. Police still have not released a possible motive for this shooting. We're still getting more information about this case, and we will keep you updated.
The May 6th elections are more than just city council and mayor races. Several school districts have some sizable bonds going before voters as well. Garrett Berger talked with Southwest ISD about its $250 million bond proposal.
At $250 million between them, Southwest ISD's twin bond proposals are nearly as big as its last 3 combined. This time, $23 million marked for safety upgrades at all campuses.
We are looking at protective film at the entrances to our campuses, new hardware for all of our doors, also surveillance cameras, higher perimeter fencing.
Several campuses would be renovated, 2 would get additions, and the bond would pay for 2 new elementary schools. The district expects a flood of students in the coming years.
We are projecting about 3,500 more students, but that could be jumped up to 5,000 if you look at all the housing that's coming into this area.
There's also money for a new building for professional development, student center, and central offices. to buy new air-conditioned buses and to renovate the Southwest High School Stadium.
We've got a great football field, but some of the amenities definitely need some renovations and modernization to be equal to our new high school Southwest legacies.
To cover this, the district expects to raise its property tax rate by about 1 penny per $100 of valuation. For a house with a taxable value of $150,000, that's another $15 a year. Though the district says possible changes out of Austin could play a part as well.
I believe that the legislators are passing some legislation this next fiscal year that's more than likely going to make this cost neutral.
If you're a Southwest ISD voter, you may end up having to cast your ballot at 2 separate locations, one for the school district and one for other local races you may be voting in. We've got information on where you can cast your ballots at our website. Just find this story on KSAT.com. I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
All right, who's ready for a night in Old San Antonio? The gates are open, and it's game on at La Villita.
Lee Waldman is down there. We got a question. Is the rain rock going to work? But we know the answer is the line is going to be long for chicken on a stick. Hey, Lee.
Oh, hey, the line is crazy here. I mean, take a look. This whole plaza was empty a little bit ago, now completely full. Who wants chicken on a stick? We got some hungry people here, and it is an efficient process. We got everyone making the chickens over here. Then we have an entire assembly line of dedicated chicken on a stick employees right here assembling all that good stuff. And then, of course, we have Mr. Chicken himself. Mr. Chicken, how's it going?
Doing well, doing well. Happy Fiesta, everybody. And if you're watching this, why aren't you here with us? That's my question.
They have to finish watching KSAT first, and then they can come out. So once KSAT at 6 is done, then you can come out here, but go back home for 10 o'clock.
I got you.
This is an impressive line you already have going here.
I'll tell you what, like, every year, it never changes. You think that, you know, we're going to have some, it never changes. The line will start right at 5, and that's with our volunteers. And then it starts, they let everybody at 5:30, and it's nuts after that, till 10:30.
I mean, I'm worried that you're going to run out of chicken because it's going fast. I think it's quicker than you guys can keep up.
Oh, it is. And you know what? Being that, like, I think this year is like the official, like, yes, we're back 110%. Like, I anticipate it. We don't say the running out word, but I anticipate it.
You anticipate. So if you want your chicken on a stick from the original Mr. Chicken, come here now. Can I get one?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Y'all wait for the bite. The official first bite of the chicken on a stick for me this year will be good. Thank you, Mr. Chicken.
You're welcome.
Best chicken on a stick.
I got you.
Thank you. Live from Niosa, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News. Back to you.
You know, Lee, I'm glad that Mr. Chicken took you under his wing there.
Oh, my
That was
goodness.
nice, Lee. I'm glad.
You know what? The puns are worth the bite. I bet that's right.
All right, live look outside right now, 78 degrees. There are some dark clouds and some storms in our viewing area.
Yeah, and of course, in Niosa, there's so much going on, as well as a medal giveaway that Adam Caskey, he's out and about in Seguin this evening. Hey, Adam.
Hello, and yes, we'll be taking a close look at the radar. We had one downpour pass right over us. That's why everything's damp around here. But we took shelter and we were fine. No lightning, no thunder with that. But Seguin Chevrolet, that's where we are for today's medal giveaway. We'll have a Weather Authority medal giveaway tomorrow with Sarah and Mia, and then I'll have my last Casquirone medal giveaway later on this week. I'll give you more details on that. But we're starting to give away the medals, and people are waiting around because we will be raffling off the homemade thermometers soon. Yes, we'll be doing that with the. Come on, where's the energy? It's Fiesta! It's Fiesta! Viva Fiesta! I need my megaphone. I feel naked without my megaphone. I'll see you in a few minutes. Yeah, we can get more pictures, of course.
Got to have pictures. Medals, pictures, selfies. Caskey does it all.
Ooh, a little bit of sunshine here, too.
Yeah, I-35 at San Marcos, and you can see traffic. It's a little bit of a slowdown, but nothing major to tell you about. I'm glad to see the sun out, though.
You bet.
Don't want it to rain on night in Old San Antonio.
Not at all. Another story we're following tonight. Runaway foster children. They often fall into the hands of traffickers, but a bipartisan group of federal lawmakers is trying to change that.
Yeah, Courtney Friedman breaks down a new bill that would help find missing foster kids and help them recover from trauma once they return.
The priority is always to prevent runaway foster kids.
We are looking at their healthy relationships. How can we build community around these youth so that they're not looking to run away to something?
Tara Rousset is the CEO of foster care agency SJRC and says kids often run to people they think love them, but end up to be toxic family members or even sex traffickers.
We work with special investigators through the state to go out and try to find the youth and see where they're at and then try to get them to come back.
That's what they're legally required to do, but not all agencies in the country or even in Texas are doing that.
There's some states that do it better than others. And from a federal standpoint, I think we should be assisting the states and making sure that they have all the tools that they need to succeed.
Congressman Tony Gonzalez has joined a bipartisan group sponsoring the Find and Protect Foster Youth Act.
We've got 6 to 8 members on the House side, and that number will grow. And then we also have, companions in the Senate side.
The act would identify obstacles in responding to missing foster children and develop best practices for addressing the children who return.
Determine, why they ran away, what happened when they were gone, and make sure to get ahead of the next problem instead of just letting this endless cycle kind of occur in the foster care.
Rousset says SJRC is already doing that and will be giving Congress that input.
If they have been a confirmed victim of child sex trafficking, then we match them with a placement that's going to provide for those needs, to give them the safety that they need in a specialized program as well. They don't just go back into foster care.
She'd be thrilled with the law that would require and fund these actions nationwide. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Still ahead here on the news at 6, small San Antonio continues to celebrate Fiesta. An international convention is coming to the Alamo City next week. What that means for tourism since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Here's a look at what we're working on for you on the Night Beat. It was broken into before dawn. Tonight we're speaking with the owner of a local vintage shop who fell victim to a burglary. Why this incident? Maybe part of a larger trend. We'll tell you about it tonight at 10. And students at San Antonio College expressing concerns tonight. They're worried a program for the next generation of morticians may be dead. Those stories and more on the Night Beat.
San Antonio's tourism industry is expected to get a big boost next month. The U.S. Travel Association's IPW is expected to bring millions of dollars to the city.
RJ Marquez has a closer look at the potential impact and the health of San Antonio's tourism industry.
This is the Super Bowl of international travel for the United States. It's the most important meeting that we could ever host in San Antonio.
San Antonio is set to go global by hosting one of the largest travel trade shows. IPW 2023 opens next month.
More than 5,000 people are going to come to San Antonio, including more than 500 media from across the world. So it's going to be a great single shot to get San Antonio on the worldwide stage.
It's another sign the city's tourism and hospitality industry is bouncing back after the pandemic. Visit San Antonio says the local hospitality industry had a $16 billion economic impact in 2021. That's about 93% of pre-pandemic levels.
We've had 2 corporate groups in the last couple of months that have come in, each with more than 6,000 visitors, meaning more than $10 million worth of economic impact for the city.
Visit San Antonio expects to be at full pre-pandemic convention levels by the end of 2024. Hotel occupancy rates are also back on track. Nearly 32 million people visited San Antonio in 2021.
It's expected by the end of 2023, we should be back in total occupancy levels back to what we were pre-pandemic. So slowly but surely, we're making a great comeback. And actually, San Antonio is making a faster comeback than other cities.
And Visit San Antonio officials tell us that IPW is expected to generate over $600 million in international spending over the next 3 years for the city. That convention taking place here at the Gonzalez Convention Center from May 20th through the 24th. Reporting from downtown, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
I love that we get to hear that music for several more days.
Yeah.
Right?
Enjoy it while you can.
That's right.
All right, let's go out to Seguin Chevrolet. Adam Caskey standing by, giving away medals, but also he's got kind of a good view of some of those storms that were just east of where he is right now. Adam.
Oh, I do. I got a good view of Joe. If you don't mind twisting around slowly past the American flag, and there we go. That's another shower that's just south of us. These showers coming off the coastal plain, heading south to north. We're in Seguin. We got clipped by one of those showers, and we had a quick downpour, but we're all good. It's Fiesta, baby. It's Fiesta. It's time to party. Been handing out the medals in Seguin. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a look at the radar really quickly, and then we'll give away the thermometer. But let's take a look at the radar. A few little pop-up showers. Yeah, they're downpours. You'll notice them, but they're pretty short-lived and nothing severe right now. That's the key, and most of it is east of San Antonio, well, in our neck of the woods out here near Seguin. But even around New Braunfels and parts of Gonzales County getting hit, DeWitt County, Wilson, Karnes County is getting clipped by some of these brief light showers. That severe storm we had earlier, no longer severe. It's been downgraded. You look closer to downtown where we have Niosa kicking off tonight. One or two quick showers, not out of the question, but as our forecast for this evening shows, pretty slim chance. I mean, we're talking a 20% chance for some of those showers, especially downtown, even dropping to 10% after sunset. And Niosa tomorrow will be just fine. 69 degrees at 10 o'clock. By midnight, we're at 67. Right now, we're at 78. And actually, here in Seguin, I measured, we went from 82 down to 76 just when that rain passed. And now we have a nice little breeze. But that breeze, for the most part, out of the southeast at 7, which has given us that humidity. The dew points rose last night. Now they're up well into the 60s, and so they're up about 10 degrees higher than they were this time yesterday. So here's that KSAT 12-hour forecast. Tomorrow morning, 30% chance, but that's mainly just for a few light sprinkles. The rest of us generally seeing some drizzle and fog, just that nuisance dampness. That's going to be through the morning commute. 67 at sunrise, cloudy, and then by noon we'll start to squeeze in some sunshine here and there at 78 degrees. And then tomorrow afternoon, just a 10% chance of a thunderstorm. So pretty slim odds tomorrow for any real thunderstorms. We have to look farther ahead in the forecast, and we'll get there in a moment. But tomorrow's highs as warm as 92 in Cotulla, 80 Fredericksburg, 83 New Braunfels, 83 here in Seguin. And the overall big setup shows you this, and this is what's going to be coming our way. Notice that active weather off to the north. It's part of a couple of systems that are headed our way. And that cold front that you see on the map, that's going to be swinging through. It's going to take its time, but tomorrow night on into Thursday morning is when we'll have that move through. Then another front Friday night into early Saturday. So that's why when you look at those rain and storm chances, we've boosted them. 60% Wednesday night through the morning commute on Thursday. And then the trickier one is that next one, which hasn't even developed yet. So the timing's still a little uncertain. Friday night on into Saturday, that 60%. The big question with that is how long are we going to see some of those showers linger into Saturday? And will they even make it to Saturday night? It's one of those fluid situations, these upper level patterns with these closed cutoff lows, very finicky. So we'll be fine tuning the forecast. Check back in before you make your definite plans this weekend. But otherwise, the warmest we'll get is 85, and that's on Friday. Battle of Flowers Parade is looking fantastic. Oh, do you mind handing the megaphone over? Thank you so much, Patty.
There you go.
All right,
the giant megaphone.
Let's hope our winner is present right now. Here we go. 481801. 801. Yay! Oh, I need the thermometer. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Congratulations. You've got the matching thermometer to go with the medal. And what's your name?
Marcy.
Marcy, thanks for coming out today.
Thank you.
So good to have you. And it looks like we're in between showers now. Perfect timing. I love this. And we'll see you again next half hour.
You upgraded megaphones since your last giveaway.
Yeah, I also know that Patty's who we have to blame for him getting that giant megaphone.
Yeah, we know who to talk to.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Patty about that. All right, the Cowboys, they are drafting on Thursday along with the rest of the NFL. Do they have a hidden agenda here?
You know, we don't know because they're not really telling us what's going on. But during their pre-draft presser yesterday, Jerry and Steven did talk about a big splash. And why haven't they made one? Plus, Ime Udoka has himself a new job, and it's right down the road. Coming up.
Go for football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
We have 2 more sleeps to go before the 2023 NFL Draft gets underway Thursday night in Kansas City, Missouri, which is hosting the NFL Draft for the very first time. Dallas Cowboys currently have the 26th pick in the first round, and they're not tipping their hand at what they plan to do. Stephen Jones says you just have to go with it, and selecting a player is pretty much like a game day decision. And when it comes to making a big splash in the draft, the boys haven't needed to, and for good reason.
Just look at what we've had here, and Tony followed up by Dak. Mike had it with Favre and Rodgers. You know, we just hadn't had the need in our minds to go up, and that's usually where you see those big trades of people going to get a quarterback. And, you know, there's the occasional, you know, different one where someone's going to get a big-time receiver or a big-time pass rusher. But in general, if you look at most of those big trades where they're giving up multiple picks, 1s, 2s, 1s next year, is, you know, for quarterbacks. And we have had fortunate enough to have a great run here with Tony and Dak. That we hadn't had to do that.
Carolina will draft first overall, followed by the Houston Texans at number 2, and their selection could have a massive domino effect on the rest of the first round. Draft a quarterback as presumed, and all's good, but if they pass on Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, whichever one is available, and select a defender, then that's where the chaos could kick in. As for possibly working a trade, Texans GM Nick Caserio was asked what's the phone setup like for when he wants to talk with another team about one.
Yeah, you have a landline phone, which is kind of all 32. So if you want to call another team, you can just hit the button and reach out to another team. And then everybody essentially is operating off a cell phone, so you can get a text or a call. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So sometimes you have double phones in your ear. And when you do actually, if you do make a trade to consummate the trade, you have to talk to the other team and then call the league as well. So you have to do 2 things at once. And just to make sure you do it before the clock runs out. So that's why sometimes you may have double phones, going.
Got to work those phones right. Round 1 of the NFL Draft this Thursday night at 7 and live right here on KSAT 12. In college football news, quarterback Richard Torres announced on Twitter he's leaving Nebraska Cornhuskers and entering the transfer portal. The Southside great thanked Husker Nation, Coach Rule and staff, and his teammates. Richie has 4 years of eligibility left. In the NBA, the Houston Rockets have agreed to a deal to hire Ime Udoka as their next head coach. This comes nearly 3 months after the Boston Celtics suspended and then fired him for an improper workplace relationship. The Rockets investigated with the league office and with the Celtics before making him the offer. Boston Celtics guard Derek White is happy that Ime landed a new gig.
I mean, obviously I was with them in San Antonio to start my career, so I saw him there, but then just getting a different light as him as a head coach, and definitely a good basketball mind, and he's going to do a good job.
In his 1 season as head coach in Boston, Udoka led the Celtics to the NBA Finals where they lost to Golden State. And this is Seattle Seahawks quarterback Tariq Woolen throwing out the ceremonial first pitch Sunday prior to the Mariners hosting the Cardinals. The UTSA great, there it is, said he put some heat on it, and trust me, he did not bounce it. It was right down the middle. Kind of a strange camera angle to watch it from.
Well, that was him like warming up.
He was warming up, yeah.
Backs, in the dugout or the clubhouse.
Yep.
Did he get it to home plate?
He did. Home base?
Home base?
Or home plate.
You ever done that? You ever throw that on first pitch?
I have not.
Yeah, I did it at the Missions once.
Did you throw it right over?
It got over.
Okay.
I mean, it got to the catcher.
Well, you weren't here for the joke the other night. She called it home base. Myra did.
Home base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did.
And Kasky.
I caught a little heat for that.
Yeah, did not stop laughing.
Imagine.
Really?
Yes. Over home plate, right down the middle.
Huh.
All right, we are just 3 days away from the Battle of Flowers parade, and as you can imagine, getting this parade together, it's no easy task. After the break, hear from the people who make this parade extra special. Spanning 13 decades, Fiesta and the Battle of Flowers parade has fostered a lot of traditions for a lot of San Antonians. For some families, that's watching the parade every year.
Yeah, for others, like the family in this next story, that means helping put on this parade and making it as colorful as can be.
My name is Rose Garcia. I've been working for the Battle of Flowers, making flowers since 1970. I've retired last year. I've been working for 50 years. And I'm back to teach my cousin, Ashley, how to make the flowers and run the show.
I had never really gotten into actually sitting down to making the flowers until I took over, and then I'm right here with Rose right next to me by my side, and I'm like watching everything she does, listening to everything she says. 1, 2, 3. It's like you're rolling it all together.
Back in 70, my mother was working, making flowers. And my sister was working, and my aunts, my mother's sisters. So it was a family tradition, basically.
Because it's been in our family for so long, I was like, I have to do this.
It's exciting every year because we work making flowers, different colors, different textures, and it's family that's making the flowers there at the den.
I never got to meet my grandmother, knowing that my grandmother was there in the same building with the same tables, the same floor, the same windows, the same walls. I mean, it's an honor, it's a blessing. I love it. It touches me here because I'm in the same exact place where my grandmother was. You're gonna grab it right here, like this. Especially if you're born and raised in San Antonio and you've been going to the parade since you were little, and you've seen all those floats and you're like, wow, I want to be a part of this as well by making the flowers and then showing my kids and my grandkids. And these are exactly the way they make the flowers on the parade, you know, and the same flowers since they were kids. And then I just pinch it a little bit and then twist it. Ooh, that looks good. Compared to about 100 years ago, the flowers have definitely evolved. They have been able to make them easier.
There was one lady that came in and she said her mother used to make the flowers, but she didn't learn. So she walked in today and she started, we started teaching her.
And then knowing that we're part of the Battle of Flowers and this is where we get our paper and this is how we do it, that just like, oh yeah, I want to do it now, and you know, give them some inspiration and give them some ideas.
I told them you could make them for birthday parties, you could make them for your school events. There's many ways you can use crepe paper.
Yeah, they all have Fiesta theme events coming up, weddings, quinces. They were having an engagement party at the park and they were doing a Fiesta theme. This is just part of our culture, part of our history. This is what we've grown up with. This is part of who we are, and you want to keep that with your kids and your grandkids and pass it on from generation to generation.
A family tradition.
I like that.
Our coverage of the Battle of Flowers parade begins during GMSA at 9 on Friday. We'll also be live streaming the parade on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and our YouTube channel. You can scan this QR code you see here, and that will take you to our Fiesta homepage. And there you can find event schedules, parking information, and how you can watch all of the parades.
I think we still have some insider tickets, too, if you want to be part of the insider party. All right, coming up. Flooding now becoming a major concern for several states in the Midwest. See how residents are protecting their towns. Sandbag by sandbag next.